Hey guys, welcome back. Did you miss me? I sure know you didn't, and I am sorry for kind of the lack of uploads. I was actually on a holiday while I was seeing my family, so we all know that's not a holiday. But we're coming back today and we're gonna jump right into it. This movie's called Cobweb, and big spoiler alert, it's not about fucking spiders. So, might just want to click off right now. But as in most horror movies, we start off with a small child. You ever have that one kid at your school that's a little weird and the family's just a little too close to one another that it kind of borderlines on creepy? Your parents make you talk to them because they probably are actually just a little scared of the parents themselves. Yeah, this movie's about a family like that. And I hate to say it, but if you didn't have a family like that at your school, you might have been the family like that at your school. This movie also stars Anthony Starr, who is the myth and the legend Homelander. Technically, he plays a hero, but we all know if we've seen the show where that's going. He's basically been typecast as one of those psychopathic characters that's kind of so passive aggressive, it makes you just squirm in your seat. And he does such a phenomenal job of it, even though he's been typecast in that role. He basically makes me feel the same way he's on screen every time as how I felt when I watched the Dahmer series, which we sip Evan Peters in this chat, but anybody who's ever seen that show knows how disgustingly uncomfortable and squirmy that entire show made you feel. So get ready for Anthony Starr to make you feel like that again. So let's jump right into this shitty movie, shall we? Our young lad starts having what he believes are nightmares of basically continuous scratching and banging against the walls. As if he already wasn't a weirdo at school, these sleeping problems really aren't resulting in any positive effects, as you would think. And his new teacher, who's subbing in for his previous teacher, kind of takes an interest in him. In my opinion, a little too much interest in him, but we'll get back to that. And don't get me wrong, I 100% put my respect out for teachers. I am sure there are a lot of them who genuinely do care about their students and what their students are going through. Though I have never experienced one of those teachers myself, I do assume those teachers exist. The teacher does a little bit too much snooping into his life and ends up meeting his parents, who are obviously up to something sinister. And I do feel rather absolutely horrible for our main lead, the little boy, because he's kind of getting gaslit from every point of view in this movie. His parents are gaslighting him, his teacher's gaslighting him, the voices in the walls are telling him things too, and he's kind of getting every single thing kind of told at him from every single angle. He's so gaslit, I honestly don't know why he isn't caught on fire at this point. So the voices in the wall finally get to him, and they basically tell him he needs to stand up for himself. So he does exactly that and stands up to the bullies at school. Except when you imagine standing up to bullies at school, usually you don't assume pushing them down the stairs to be an option, but that's the option they went with here. Which, honestly, I love solving issues with violence, especially with children, so right on, little bro. This leads to him getting expelled, which I didn't even know kids in elementary school could get expelled. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. So now his parents are obviously pissed at him as much as they already were crazy. They now snap, and he is trapped inside his house. They basically lock him in the basement. Because, that's very reasonable to lock your 8-year-old in a basement. The teacher then takes this opportunity to show up at his house, I assume because she thinks that something is off about that family, which, ma'am, if you think something's off about that family, you need to call CPS. Like, this isn't in your job description. She obviously gets extremely weird vibes from the family and kind of just ends up running out of there. It's at this point in the movie that your wheels are going to start turning, like, man, are his parents like serial killers and there's like ghosts in the walls talking to him, trying to be like, get out of there, they're crazy? Are they like kidnapping people and keeping them in the house? There's like all these different things and different routes that I was going down in my head, and I'm gonna be honest, the route that we ended up with is not what I expected. The voice has been speaking to him this whole time, but I think apparently due to the plot, they thought that they would reveal right now that they're in fact his sister. And the parents have kept her locked away his entire life for reasons unknown. She insists she had to wait until he was old enough to be able to take on the parents and move furniture around the house to help her get out. This is probably the biggest gaslighting section in this entire fucking movie, because if you're trapped in a goddamn wall, don't you think you could just eventually claw your way out of the wall? Like, they're made of wood. The walls are made of wood, sister. What the fuck do you need this little boy for? And if you're the parents in this situation and you want to lock away your kid, why wouldn't you just kill her? Is probably, the solution to the problem at the end of the day. But second, why wouldn't you confirm that this girl had basically free access to the entirety of the house and the walls? Why didn't you confirm that she couldn't do that? Honestly. And guys, whatever you could possibly be assuming is the finale to this movie, I want you to take that thought. When you take that thought, and I want you to simmer on that thought for a second. How do you think this movie could end? And I want you to just toss that shit out the fucking window right there. Because this is the most balls to the wall fucking ending to a goddamn movie that I have seen in a hot minute. So guys, I'm gonna speed through this, so you're gonna have to bear with me because it's a little crazy, to say the least. Son kills his parents with rat poison. There's a lot of blood. There is a lot of violence happening there. The son cut the phone line so the parents couldn't call for help when he killed them with rat poison. And here's to assuming this 8-year-old did not know how to murder people. But you know me, I do love solutions through violence, so I do support it. And speaking of fucking violence, do you remember that bully from earlier that he pushed down the stairs? Why the fuck would you? He was very irrelevant and he had like 4 lines. Anyway, he pulls up with his gang like this is a goddamn drive-by shooting, and his goons of family members are apparently there to scare the family. You know, the family that the 8-year-old boy broke their cousins or nephews or brother's legs. Yeah, I'm okay with violence, but like, you're gonna break into someone's house? So there we go. You guys with me? You guys fucking with me? Probably not. That's okay. We got parents dead, blood everywhere. We got this kid and his goon family here to goon, I guess. That was the wrong term to use. Here to incite aggression and violence. So these kids are now going to break into the house. Well, they're going to walk in the open door to the house and basically teach that child a lesson. But we'll get back to those thugs. First things first, we need to see him open the door and meet his sister. And let me tell you, whatever the fuck that thing in there is, it is not goddamn human. If that movie actually wants to sit here and pretend that that is a person, they might as well shoot me in the back of the head. She basically words it that she was like deformed as a child, so the family ostracized her, but like, I'll show you later. This is not a deformity. That's not a person. I was assuming this was like a witch or like a demon of some kind. But then I started thinking, what kind of, this family got involved in witchcraft? Like, this was never established. This doesn't make any sense. They got involved with demons? Like, what is this, The Conjuring? Like, that's a wonderful idea. That's foreshadowing for another video. Anyway, this thing that gets out, it's clearly not a fucking human, and it just starts, like, crawling around the house, like, crawling on the fucking ceiling, like, like what demons do and shit. And another thing, this is when I started wondering, like, this just makes no fucking sense, like, what this thing even is. So is it supposed to be, like, symbolism for something? Is it supposed to be symbolism for, like, childhood abuse or trauma or something? Like, I don't know, movie. I hate when movies make me look for all this deeper symbolism. It's like, it's a movie. I want to fucking enjoy watching it. This is too much thinking. I hate it. You want me to look for lore in my movie? What do I look like? Fucking Matt Pat? We're gonna save that for film theory because we don't do that on this channel. And we're getting back to this shitty movie where this creature takes on all the thugs at face value. And, yeah, the style that these thugs are getting taken out in, yeah, that doesn't look like any method that I've seen people use. We barely even really get to see the creature, and we'll get to see the creature at the end, just for like a second. And, you're gonna be wishing you hadn't seen it, but you'll see. Oh my god, and we have another fucking plot thing happening right now. Another thing, guys. The teacher, the creepy one that's way too close to the student, she comes back to save the fucking day, which will lead to a final showdown between the kid, the teacher, and this demon sister thing. We end up in the basement, and just look at this thing. It only focuses a frame on it for a few seconds. Thank God. But if this isn't supposed to be a demon witch something, I don't know, because that's not a person. That's just not a person. Alright, so we're gonna wrap this all up here. We got Homelander and his weird manic wife dying to rat poison very violently. We have these goon thugs that come in, they want to destroy the whole house, but they find out that there's a bunch of dead people in it and they're gonna die. Boom, they all die. And we got our creepy teacher that's way too close to her students coming back to try to save the day with the student and kill the sister demon. They don't successfully, at least we don't see it, kill the sister demon, but they do end up trapping her, so we're just gonna hope that I guess she dies there, or they called the cops, maybe? But for real, what's not to like about a movie like this? But honestly, I had better hopes for this movie. I had actually seen some really good reviews about it online before I watched the movie, so I was kind of really disappointed with just how haphazardly thrown together this movie was, especially with pretty good stars that they had in it. But maybe since it is getting so much praise online, that actually kind of just feeds the theory that this is supposed to hold some sort of deeper meaning that I am sure as fuck not gonna look into. But anyway, this movie at face value was lost on this gal at least. So that is the end of this video, and as always, if you want me to watch a specific video, please tell me in the comments. I would love to watch a specific movie for you. And also, please make sure to subscribe and interact with this channel if you did enjoy yourself. Thank you so much, guys. See you soon.